Hey there and welcome back as we continue our tour of the 7 New World Wonders. So far we've looked at Chichen Itza, Rapa Nui, Colorado, and last week we went to Peru. This week we're going to be heading to Louisiana to take a look at the oldest man-made structure in North America. So originally I thought about doing Kokia again, but then I thought to myself, would people want to rewatch a video that I've already done? And I came to the logical conclusion of no. So I decided to find something new, because I'm not that far into my YouTube career to take and start posting my old videos yet. Located on Louisiana State University's campus are two earthen mounds that are thousands of years old. They're named Mound A and Mound B because, as I've covered before many times, archaeologists aren't very good at coming up with names. But these are just two of the 800 mounds that are located in Louisiana alone. And one of these mounds on the campus has recently taken the title of being called the oldest man-made structure in North America, dating back around 11,000 years ago. At this point in Native American prehistory, they were still hunter-gatherers. The first Native Americans actually came across the Bering Land Bridge at the end of the last ice age, somewhere around 13,000 years ago. The first peoples to cross the land bridge started in Siberia and crossed into Alaska. From there they spread out across the Americas. They were called Paleo-Indians, and their time period was from around 12,000 BCE to around 10,000 BCE. And during this time we find the famed Clovis Points, which are considered to be the first culture found in North America. Following the Paleo-Indian is the Dalton time period, from around 8,500 to 7,900 BCE. During this time they were still hunter-gatherers, and it coincided with the end of the last ice age. They used much of the same tools that the Paleo-Indians used, but they started to create a new type of tool called chipstone. Next is the Archaic period, from around 8,000 to 2,000 BCE. Due to the warming temperatures at the end of the last ice age, the megafauna that they had relied on for their food started to disappear, such as the woolly mammoth, the mastodon, the giant beaver, and even the giant sloth. They had to find new foods and new ways to take and maintain themselves. And it's during these time periods that the mounds on the LSU campus are thought to have been constructed. The two mounds sit right next to each other and are only about 6 meters in height. A study that was led by Brooks Elwood took core samples out of the mounds and radiocarbon dated them for the dates. The core samples that were taken for dating showed layers of burnt ash made up of burnt reed, cane plants, and even bone fragments. And the radiocarbon dates showed that the mounds weren't actually created at the same time. Mound B was created first. Mound B was constructed over a few thousand years. It was abandoned sometime around 8,200 BCE, and we're not exactly certain why. But we do know that around 8,200 BCE, the northern hemisphere's climate took a dip. The temperatures dropped around 2 degrees Celsius for around 160 years, and this may have forced people to have to find new areas to hunt to sustain themselves. They then returned to the area around 7,500 years ago and started work on Mound A. Mound A was constructed from mud from a nearby floodplain, thus making the mound actually unstable. When the mud inside the mound gets saturated with water and is agitated, it liquefies. This has caused the mound to undergo large amounts of damage from people walking on it and other activities. They eventually started to work on Mound B again, but Mound B had become overgrown with trees, so they cleared the trees off and started to build it up once again. And then sometime around 6,000 years ago, they abandoned the mounds again. So what were the mounds used for? Well, we don't really know, but we can look at the other mounds that are found throughout North America for clues. And as mentioned before, these are only 2 of the 800 that are known to be found in Louisiana. But there are thousands of earthen mounds that are still located all across North America, and they all vary in size and what the native peoples use them for. We've already covered Kokia, and if you're interested in the largest earthen mound found in North America, then check out the link above. The first example we're going to look at is from Poverty Point, which is also located in Louisiana. It was originally thought to be nothing more than hills that were being farmed. But after 1953, when aerial photography was done, it showed that the hills actually made up a C shape that faced into a central plaza. We know there was Native American activity there because as far back as the 1830s we found artifacts. But what did they use the mounds for there? Well, on some of the mounds they actually built houses. The next example comes from Serpent Mound, which is located in Ohio. It's thought that the mound was actually constructed for astronomical purposes. One theory suggests that the mound was constructed to line up with the trajectory of Halley's Comet, which streaked through the sky in 1066 CE. But the theory is hard to prove. We do know that the head of the Serpent Mound lines up with the summer solstice, and the coils line up with the winter solstice sunrise and equinox. The last example we're going to look at is from Pinson Mounds in Tennessee, which are believed to have been constructed for ceremonial and religious purposes because there's no sign of permanent occupation at the site. There are signs that there were temporary structures constructed adjacent to the mounds, so we do believe that the mounds were used for ceremonial and religious purposes, and even a few of the mounds actually have burials in them. So with all that in mind, what exactly were the mounds on the LSU campus used for? Well, there's a couple theories. Jeffrey Clayton, who's an astronomer at LSU, has the theory that they were constructed to line up with the red giant star Arcturus as it arced through the night sky. Another theory is from the burnt ash and bones that are found in the the mounds. This suggests that they may have been used for ceremonial purposes. Why is it important that we preserve these mounds and all the other mounds that are located across North America? Because of a lack of understanding or just a lack of caring, many of the mounds across North America have been destroyed. And as I've mentioned in many of the New World Wonder videos, much of the culture from the native peoples has been destroyed and lost, and this is most often done in either the name of progress or to eliminate their culture altogether. The mounds may be mysterious in many aspects, and we don't even know which culture created them, but nevertheless, they're an important part of the Native American history. These mounds might not be the biggest or the most intricate, but they were created at a time when they were still hunter-gatherers, so it's a testament to what people can achieve when they come together with one common goal in mind. I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to thank the crew over at Patreon. With their support, I'm able to make all of these videos happen. If you want access to exclusive content in the Patreon Discord, then consider heading over to Patreon today and becoming part of the crew.